groundwater levels high, and therefore the risk of flooding, and not necessarily to properties, but to businesses, to roads, railways, and infrastructure, causing disruption that may well affect people even if their properties don't flood.
He believes the Environment Agency hasn't done enough to cut back trees and bushes on the riverbanks, making the Bourne prone to flooding.
At the moment, the river's coming up fast, but it looks okay. It's rained over the last 24 hours. I understand there's more rain forecast, so really it's just hoping and praying for a bit of sunshine, give it time for this water to get down.
Michael has lived next to the Chertsey Bourne since the 1960s. In recent years he's become used to the winter floods in his garden, but it didn't used to be like this.
They used to come up with an aluminium boat, 3 blokes, and they'd trim up the sides, overhanging branches, put it in the boat and then take it back to their on-off point. But you don't see that no more.
For anglers like Darryl, the rising water levels are a mixed blessing. The Thames, not far away, has become too full and too fast-moving to fish.
The Bourne is really high. I can't recall it being this high before. But for anglers, it's a good thing, because when the small rivers rise up, then all the fish move out of the big rivers, and they move up into the small rivers, which is better for us. But it is completely flooded everywhere at the moment around here.
Tonight, the Environment Agency denied it could have done more to keep the River Bourne clear. It also said the main...
In some parts of southwest England, it has rained every day this year, and it's still pouring, falling on already saturated ground into already swollen rivers, and it's making flooding almost inevitable.
Yeah, it's just terribly frustrating, and I think it was just the speed with which it all closed down as well, and the lack of information. It just added to the frustration. Terribly frustrating, and then we had to try and find somewhere to stay, because we'd given up on the idea of trying to get home. And eventually, sort of 10:30, so this is 3 hours after we started, 10:30 we found a room in a travel lodge. Not the first travel lodge we tried. We had to trudge through the snow, all through the city, trying to find somewhere to stay.
And it was snowing quite heavily at that time.
It was snowing very heavily at that time. We were wet through, very demoralised. But, you know, it's an adventure. It's an adventure. And, I mean, my husband was supposed
Did you the storm?
I mean, to be honest, I was hoping to get on some train, but got to know in the morning because I was traveling. To be honest, had to travel from University Station to New Street by train. Those been cancelled out. Looked for the buses. They've been cancelled out. Had to get a cab. Unfortunately, but can't help it, right? Because this snow pretty bad everywhere. So,
And where are you heading? How are you feeling?
I mean, I should have been well prepared because the department had already told that you could expect a storm. The trains might get cancelled, so I should have been better prepared. I mean, it can be frustrating, but you can't help it. The nature is like that. So used to it.
Yeah, well, we were a bit sad yesterday to not be able to get home to our 2 young children. I've got a 4-month-old, my friend's got a 18-month-old, so yeah, we're a bit sad not to get home to them, but luckily they're safe at home, but with no power actually at home, but at least they're in the warm, but yeah, we're hoping to get back to them today.
And what is the outlook?
I mean, yeah, our country can't really cope with snow at all, any sort of adverse weather, everything's shut down, so I mean, it was half a surprise but half not, but we thought coming home earlier before the weather warnings would have prevented any stoppage to the journey.
And maybe
Oh no!